2026 is shaping up to be one of the most ambitious years the cruise industry has seen in over a decade. After a period dominated by recovery and record-breaking megaships, cruise lines are no longer just building bigger vessels. Instead, they are building bolder ones. Some are pushing engineering limits, others are redefining luxury. A few are so exclusive that a single week on board costs more than many people earn in a year. This year, the industry is not moving in one direction. It is expanding in every direction at once. From floating theme parks designed for families to ultra-luxury yachts carrying fewer than 200 guests, 2026 introduces ships that reflect how diverse cruising has become. Some promise the largest water parks ever built at sea. Others focus on space, privacy, and personalized service. And then there are those designed purely to make a statement. In this video, we take a detailed look at the most anticipated new cruise ships entering service in 2026, examining what makes each one different, who they are built for, and whether they truly live up to the expectations surrounding them. Let's begin with one of the most talked about launches of the year. Royal Caribbean returned in 2026 with Legend of the Seas, the third vessel in the Icon class, a class already known for redefining size. And Legend doesn't tone anything down. At the top of the ship sits Category 6, currently the largest water park at sea, spanning roughly 17,000 square feet. It includes 6 major slides, among them a 282-foot drop slide designed for maximum speed and impact. It's not decoration, it's a skyline-defining structure. Then there's Crown's Edge, suspended more than 150 feet above the ocean, combining a skywalk, ropes course, and partial drop element. It's engineered to feel daring without crossing into danger, and it's quickly becoming one of the signature attractions of the Icon class. Legend also carries Royal Bay, promoted as the largest pool at sea, alongside the Hideaway, a suspended infinity pool concept designed specifically for adults who want elevation, ocean views, and some distance from the noise below. Inside, one of the more unusual additions is Royal Railway, Legend Station. It's a simulated dining experience where guests sit inside a themed rail carriage, while high-definition screens create the illusion of traveling through distant landscapes. It blends storytelling, motion effects, and a multi-course meal into one theatrical experience. Legend of the Seas isn't subtle. It's built for families, high energy, and travelers who want constant activity. And with deployments split between Florida and Europe, Royal Caribbean clearly intends to dominate both markets. But while Royal Caribbean builds upward in scale, another cruise line is moving in the opposite direction. Explora Journeys continues expanding its ultra-premium fleet with Explora III, launching in mid-2026. And the headline feature here is space. The ship carries just 922 guests, supported by roughly 640 crew members. That creates a guest-to-crew ratio of about 1.4 to 1. In practical terms, service should feel immediate and highly personal. Every single cabin on board is a suite. Even the entry-level Ocean Terrace suite measures around 377 square feet and includes walk-in wardrobes and heated bathroom floors. That's standard, not upgraded. At the top end, Explora III introduces expanded owner's residences, around 3,000 square feet each, positioned at the aft of the ship with private infinity whirlpools and 24-hour butler service. Another deliberate move is there are no traditional buffets on board. Dining is structured around refined restaurants, with most venues included in the fare. Explora is targeting travelers who want luxury without the formality of older ultra-luxury brands. The design is modern, open, and calm. It's not about spectacle, it's about atmosphere. And that contrast is exactly what makes 2026 interesting. Norwegian enters the year with Norwegian Luna, part of its expanded Prima Plus class. This ship addresses one of the biggest criticisms Norwegian has received in recent years: crowding. The Prima Plus design is roughly 10% larger than earlier ships in the class, specifically to create more open deck space and improve flow. One of the most noticeable changes is the permanent removal of the go-kart tracks that once defined Norwegian's upper decks. In their place is the Aqua Slide Coaster, a hybrid water slide and coaster concept that takes up less space while still delivering thrills. The Haven, Norwegian's ship-within-a-ship concept, reaches its largest version yet on Luna. It includes expansive duplex suites and private elevator access within select accommodations, effectively creating a private luxury enclave inside a mid-size ship. Entertainment also scales up, with a redesigned theater and immersive performance spaces. Norwegian Luna feels like an attempt to refine rather than reinvent, dialing back chaos while keeping energy. And for many guests, that balance may be exactly what they've been waiting for. And if you're enjoying this breakdown of 2026's most ambitious cruise ships, take a second to subscribe. This year is packed with major launches, and we'll be covering full ship deep dives, honest reviews, and comparisons as they enter service. Now, let's step further into luxury, because this is where things get interesting. Regent's new Prestige class marks its first completely new ship design in over a decade. The vessel carries just 850 guests, but what makes it stand out is what's included. Prestige introduces an 8,800 square foot Skyview Regent suite, spread across 2 levels with a private in-suite elevator and wraparound terrace. But beyond the suites, Regent doubles down on its all-inclusive philosophy. Unlimited shore excursions in every port, specialty dining included, premium wines and spirits included, gratuities included, even laundry included. In an industry increasingly adding extra charges, Regent is moving in the opposite direction. It's expensive, but frictionless, and that model still appeals strongly to seasoned luxury travelers. But even Regent doesn't go as far as what comes next. MSC continues its aggressive expansion with MSC World Asia, the 3rd ship in its world-class series. This is a mega ship capable of carrying close to 7,000 guests at full capacity. The most visually dramatic feature is located in the central promenade, a towering 12-meter dragon sculpture integrated with thousands of LED lights and reflective panels. It's bold, highly thematic, and impossible to ignore. Thrill features return as well, including an overwater swing attraction extending beyond the edge of the ship and a multi-deck dry slide that drops guests 12 decks in seconds. MSC also continues expanding Yacht Club, its private luxury section, making it larger than ever on this class. Yacht Club effectively creates a luxury ship layered inside a megaship, complete with private restaurant, lounge, and pool deck. MSC's strategy remains clear: deliver a resort-scale experience at a price often lower than competitors, and that value positioning is attracting serious attention. Now let's step far away from megaships, because 2026 also introduces something entirely different. The Orient Express Corinthian is not a traditional cruise ship. It is being marketed as the world's largest sailing yacht, stretching roughly 720 feet and powered in part by towering 330-foot solid carbon fiber sails that automatically rotate and adjust. Instead of cloth canvas, these rigid, solid sails are engineered for efficiency and visual impact. The ship carries only about 110 guests served by approximately 170 crew. That ratio alone signals exclusivity. The interiors lean heavily into Art Deco styling: dark woods, mirrored finishes, intimate lounges, and private dining rooms curated by Michelin-level culinary teams. At the marina platform, guests can access water toys directly from the stern, reinforcing the yacht identity rather than cruise ship scale. Pricing reflects that exclusivity, with Mediterranean sailings reaching into the tens of thousands of dollars per suite for a single week. But even Corinthian is not the most expensive concept launching in 2026. That title likely belongs to this next one. Four Seasons enters the cruise industry with a vessel designed for just 95 suites and a maximum of around 180 guests, matched by roughly 180 crew. That 1-to-1 ratio is extraordinary. The ship's standout feature is its transverse marina platform. The hull opens on both sides, creating a 7,000 square foot indoor-outdoor water-level terrace. It effectively turns the ship into a floating beach club when anchored. The most talked about accommodation is the funnel suite, nearly 10,000 square feet spread across multiple levels, with wraparound glass views and a private plunge pool. Reported pricing reaches approximately $50,000 per night. Unlike many ultra-luxury cruise lines, Four Seasons is not fully all-inclusive. Dining in its 11 restaurants is largely priced separately, following the brand's hotel model rather than the traditional cruise model. It's a bold decision. Some will see it as flexibility, others may see it differently. Either way, Four Seasons is not entering quietly. Finally, for families, Disney Adventure represents the company's largest ship ever, significantly bigger than any previous Disney vessel. Originally started under a different cruise line before being acquired, the ship now carries Disney's full creative transformation. On board, guests will find what Disney describes as the longest roller coaster at sea, stretching over 800 feet, alongside multiple theme zones built around major franchises. What makes this launch particularly unusual is its deployment strategy. The ship will home port in Singapore and operate short 3- and 4-night sailings that do not visit additional ports, functioning almost as a floating theme park experience at sea. It's a gamble, but if any brand can sell a ship as the destination itself, it's Disney. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these ships would you actually book, and which one feels completely over the top? Drop your choice in the comments. And if you want in-depth reviews as these ships launch throughout the year, make sure you're subscribed and notifications are on, because 2026 at sea is just getting started.